All right, so there's this Air Force captain, and he's getting on a commercial flight headed home. And as he's boarding, he's putting his luggage in in the luggage rack. He notices that he's seated right next to this Marine corporal, and he kind of grins a little bit and figures he's going to have some fun because Marines are kind of known for being jarheads, not real bright, and so he figures he's going to have some fun with this kid. So he sits down next to the corporal. The corporal's trying to catch some shut-eye up against the window, and the captain introduces himself, and the corporal kind of wakes up and looks at him, and they exchange pleasantries. Hey, where you from? Where you going? Where you serve at? All that kind of stuff, and the plane gets ready to take off, and the corporal goes to lean against the window again and go back to sleep. And the captain says, hey, we got a long flight here. How about we play a game? And the corporal says, well, okay, what kind of game? He says, well, I'll tell you what. I'll ask you a question, and if you can't answer it, you give me $50. But when I'm done, you get to ask me a question, and if I can't answer it, I'll give you $500. The corporal thinks about it for a little bit and finally says, okay. And so the captain says, how far is it from the surface of the earth to the sun? Well, the corporal just kind of blinks at him a couple times, reaches in his pocket, grabs $50 and hands it to the captain. And the captain's feeling pretty good about this, and so he goes, okay, well, your turn. And so the corporal says, what goes uphill on 2 legs and comes down on 3? And the captain gets ready to answer, and he stops and he realizes he doesn't know the answer. And so the corporal leans against the window, starts to go back to sleep again. And the captain's sitting there, and he's thinking, can't figure it out. And pulls out his phone, and he sends a text to his buddies at the Pentagon, and is surfing the web and doing all kinds of stuff to try to figure out what the answer to this is. Well, he spends the whole dang flight trying to figure out what the answer is. So finally they land, and he's getting his luggage out of the thing, and the corporal wakes up, and captain reaches in his pocket and says, well, game's a game. I don't know what the answer is, so here's your $500. So the corporal takes $500, folds up, puts it in his pocket, and gets ready to get his luggage and get off the plane. And the captain says, whoa, wait a minute. He says, I got to know. What goes uphill on 2 legs and comes down on 3? And the corporal looks at him for a minute, reaches in his pocket, pulls out $50 and hands it to the captain.